So welcome. I'm so excited to introduce all of you to Helen and the Easy Yogi. She's the founder of the Easy Yogi. And the reason that I have her here on today is because we are going to be talking about what I like to call spiritual surgery in the Path of Silence retreat. So super excited to have you, Helen. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So now this retreat is a very special experience, but why don't you tell us about it, Helen?
Sure. This retreat is a 7-day silence retreat. Usually when you say 7 days, that already scares everyone.
Right.
But there's no need to be scared. There's so much that goes on outside on a daily basis that's affecting us. There's so much stimulus constantly throughout the day from many angles, from the moment you wake up, your phone, what you see on social media, what's happening outside, then when you get to work, all the stimulus. And then even when you come back, if you're watching TV or listening to radio, there's constantly activity that's, stimulating us or giving us information. And what happens is that when we are trying to figure out why our life is the way that it is, why we keep finding ourselves doing the same thing over and over again, or finding ourselves in relationships with the same people or types of people, we can't always pinpoint it because we have so much noise that's going on. But the answers are really inside us. We actually know this information internally, but we don't have the space or time, both physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, to really dive deep into that experience to figure out what it is that drives me, what it is that triggers me, and what it is I need to move forward to get out of this constant cyclic pattern. And so the 7-day silence retreat allows for a space where you're away from all that stimuli, where you are taken care of for all the things that you would normally worry about. All of that is taken care of, and your attention can really be specifically on figuring those things out and spending time with you and you alone. And it's a very individual journey that we do in a small group setting, but it's still an individual journey.
Right, exactly. And so I have done many silent retreats before. I've done them with Deepak Chopra and in different places, but I have to say that the Path of Silence I have done twice now. And the experience that I had was so profound. This is why I am like, I want to help you bring this to more people in the world. And that's why I'm partnering with you guys and bring it to the female physician group, because I don't know about you ladies. I don't think there's a group more than us that needs and deserves that time away from everything and everyone, where they can't page us. The parents can't call us. The kids can't pull on us. The husband can't complain to us, right? And really take that time away to dive deep. Now, yes, like you said, like 7 days of silence. I had one doctor say, does it have to be 7 days? Why can't it just be 3?
Yeah. Well, at minimum, you're going to have a relaxing time away from all the things that stress you out. That's at minimum. But at the most, depending on the determination that you have, the focus that you have, you can really dig deep and find out what it is that keeps making us go into this cyclic pattern of, I would say, either stress or suffering or, just pain within relationships, and why we keep going into that. So at minimum, you get to just chill. You finally don't get called all the time, and you get to really relax. And that is enough, honestly, for some people to really find a way to keep going. But really, at most, you can really look into a lot of childhood trauma or things that happened as a child, do a lot of inner child work, and really start to make lasting changes in your life moving forward, that you will see, starting with months and then years on, you start looking back, oh my gosh, I fixed this, I changed this, I didn't even realize I did that. That's at most what you can get out of that experience. But about the silence part, in itself, what's so different, which is what you were saying from other retreats, is this retreat was actually developed by Catholic nuns. That usually scares people. I grew up in the Catholic environment and usually think it's like a whip, but that's not how this was. These are really nuns who have really come across pain and suffering in constituents, and they actually separated from the church and are doing their own thing in this way because they knew what was really needed to get us to really look at ourselves. And it's very structured. So it's not a silence where you're just sitting in silence for 10 days and you really don't know what to do, and you just 5 million things start going through your head. This is very structured. So there's a guide, there's a topic and a theme for each day. And what's also different is that even though you're in silence the entire day and the week, you actually get to speak to what we call a compassionate listener once a day for 45 minutes. And it seems almost like cheating, but really it's not. It's so necessary to clear what you've worked on the previous day, to have an accountability partner to help you make sure that you're doing the work, and just someone a little bit on the outside, but also that you can kind of express yourself for that day and then move forward. So that what is really different. Now, why 7 days? Because honestly, in my experience, and I've hosted this retreat many times, and I've also done it several times myself. And what I've noticed is that really around day 3 is when people really understand what silence means. The first 2-3 days, they're just figuring out. They try to write you notes more instead of, they realize, oh, wait, that's not silence. They try to sign language. And so really on the 3rd day, they really get it. You know what? I'm in my cocoon. This is just me. If there's anything that I need that's urgent, someone will come and will take care of that, and I communicate that. But this is really my time with me. And that's why 7 days is so important, because we go through those themes and it gives you time to kind of understand the system and understand what silence means. And it takes that long to get rid of all the stuff outside of us that's still hanging over our head. And you really need that time. So it's really only halfway in that you're like, I get it. I get what I need to do. And then everybody's rushing to get as much done towards the end.
Yeah, it goes by so fast, so fast. It's crazy. And, as a doc, right, as a physician, like I became a doctor because I wanted to help people heal. That's what I did, and I wanted to help people feel better. And I wanted to help people, right, get better. And so I feel so strongly about this program because I literally looked at periods in my life in a way that I've never looked at before. And really went, and this is why I call this spiritual surgery. I call it, as one of the other people who did the program too, we were calling it that. She's in the medical profession too. We're like, this is spiritual surgery. You go in a nurtured environment from loving people. You go in, you open up, and you start looking for the abscesses, and you start draining them one by one. But we don't just leave you open.
Yes.
We slowly, over the 7 days, you can't do this. This is not a 24-hour ambulatory surgery. This is, you have to come in, we open you up, we lance everything, we wash it out, right? And then we sew you back up. And you don't have to think about anything. You don't have to worry about what you're going to eat. You don't have to worry about where you're going to be that night. You don't have to worry about what you're going to say to anybody. You don't have to worry about being nice to anybody, because it's just you. Nobody's expecting you to like open the door for them or hold the door open for them or anything. Like, you don't have to focus on anyone except yourself.
Exactly.
and which is so, so necessary for
I
deep.
love the way you explained the spiritual surgery and, draining those abscesses. And
Yeah.
it's important to know that you have a medical team, a spiritual medical team
Yes.
during the surgery that's supporting you, that has been there, that has gone through the process, that supported others through the process, because that alone is enough to make you feel comfortable to really go in and go deep and do the things that you do. You don't have to worry about the way it's going to seem if you cry or if you do this. That's why, privacy is such a big part of this, is that you have your own space, that you're not sharing with anybody a room. You have that complete privacy to do what it is that you need, but that that we're there. We're there to give you tips on how to kind of dive in. We're there to give you tools to deal with what's going to be coming up for you. And then as you're going through that towards the end, we're also slowly kind of closing that surgical wound and giving you the tools that you need when you leave. This is your healthcare, your spiritual wound after surgery protocol, because you know that when you go back into the world, that you have to take really good care of that wound, and you have to really take care of yourself and just kind of remain connected and use those tools as you continue to go. And so this process is also teaching you those tools that are not just for those 7 days, therefore continuing on and moving forward and using it as you return back into the world.
Right. And it can be jarring going back to the world. For me, I know it certainly was. I felt like I could have done it for 2 months. Once I got like
From
comfortable
you
and
think like
free.
one day only I can do it, to when you're like, oh my gosh, I could do this for like forever.
Forever. Yeah, exactly. But afterwards though, I like having the support is definitely there. And since like I'm being part of this and hosting this as well, anybody who's coming in through the program, I will be there even
There.
afterwards to help guide and answer questions and do, I'm a holistic life coach as well. So, we will meet afterwards and go through the processes and things like that to really, so you're not just like one and done, boom, see ya,
Yes, yes.
like provide support afterwards as well. Now, Helen, I know that you said that this was like started by Catholic nuns, but like this process, the path of silence has been going on for like 20 years or something, like around the world, right? Like, can you
Yes.
tell us a little bit about that?
So, and it was started by Catholic nuns, and the person through who I started working with, which is Caroline Ward, who you'll get to meet, her father actually went to the retreat there with the nuns and went through the
What
program.
country was that in?
Australia.
In Australia. Okay.
And but actually, I think that when they went to do this was actually in the UK, if I'm not mistaken. She actually went there to do it. And then after her father had that experience, he brought Caroline in as well. And then Caroline started attending. And it really, I think, everyone who's done the retreat wants to help do it and facilitate it and host it moving forward. Because I think everyone realizes, oh my goodness, everybody should do this. Everybody leaves from the retreat is like, you should do it, you should do it, you should do it. And not everyone's there at the right time or the right place and putting things together. But that's kind of what happens. Her dad did, then her dad became a compassionate listener. And then she became a compassionate listener. And then she hosted and facilitated it. And then I attended and I became a compassionate listener. And now I'm hosting it and others. And I think because we all realize, if we only knew this about ourselves, if we knew these tools much earlier in our lives, like how much our lives would have gone in a different way, how much less grief we would have had. And because it really opens your eyes up to the possibilities of who you are. And also you learn to understand why you operate the way you do. And
Give
when
yourself
you realize that,
compassion.
exactly, you start, okay, I understand why I do this. I understand why I do it, why Cindy does that, why Cynthia does that, why Rob does that.
Yeah.
Because you start to see, when you see the work that you have to do for yourself, you understand how much is going on inside other people. And it really creates this level of compassion and understanding when we start to interact with others. And that's why we're inspired to keep it going, because we're like, you're talking through your pain, like you don't understand. And you're trying to tell that to somebody and they're like, yeah, okay. But if we invite, others to join that journey with us, and then if we become examples, if we really want to heal the world, which is what all doctors are there doing, that's what they want to do. And we also know that pain and disease comes from a lot of internal pain and struggle and strife. So if we can be that and we can heal that for ourselves, imagine the kind of healer that we can be for others and start to heal others in that way. So it's so important to take care of ourselves as healers, as teachers, and facilitators, to take care of us so that we can then be there to guide others into healing.
And really, and I see it as fulfilling our soul mission. Our souls came into this body for a reason, for a purpose. And so we can't fulfill our soul mission if we are stuck with that baggage, we all carry.
It's like that car,
Mhm.
part-time. For some silly reason, I keep wanting to work part-time at this job at the auto parts place, because I don't know why. There's a lot about it that is so out of my normal scope that I enjoy. There's like,
Yeah.
I like to be so around people that are not like me,
Yeah.
because it teaches me to use all the tools that I share with everyone all the time.
Right.
I get to use them because these are not people that are like me. So they're not going to accept everything that I say. How can I be that example, in this lifestyle? But the auto parts industry has taught me so much. It's such an analogy for many things in our life. If
Okay.
you think of when you have a truck, you got a big truck, and now you have a camper that you want to haul,
Okay.
right? If your truck does not have the capacity to carry that weight, it's not going to go far. It's like chucking. And it's like, taking all the gas and all the fuel, and you're not getting anywhere you're going. You're gassing up like every 10 miles because you don't have the right equipment, to carry this load. And I think what's happening with all of us is we've been loading up, and the weight that we are carrying as we're trying to move forward, we're hauling like pounds and pounds of weight of history and story and pain and hurt. And it's just like with us, and we can't move. We can't go as fast as we want to. We can't do the things that we want to, because that's right there behind us. So what we're trying to do is unpack that. Number one, we're trying to reduce the load. What's really needed? What do we need for moving forward? Is this really needed? Is that really needed? Do I need this? You really evaluate that. That's number one. And then we equip your truck with the right equipment that it needs to deal with what's behind there. Some of it you might not be ready to take care of at that moment. Okay, fine. We'll leave that there. Now you have the tools and you have the right equipment to haul that camper. So I really enjoy how auto parts teaches me that
Awesome.
about ourselves.
Yes, I love it. I love it. This like Zen guru Helen is, and she's working at an auto parts store. I love it. And one of her side gigs. I love it.
Everyone's always like, when they walk into the store, they're like, you look out of place. That's what they say. It seems like you shouldn't be working here. I'm like, I know. That's why I'm working here.
I love it. Now this is so the path of silence, like we were talking about before, it was in the UK, it's in Australia. I think it's been done in South America. It's been done like everywhere except the US, really. I mean, we did it here.
The first time in the US when you came.
Yeah. And so this is actually it's kind of like revolutionary for the United States. And so that's why I'm even more eager and excited to be at the beginning and the forefront of really bringing this to the US market, really. And so it's such an honor really to be able to be part of this whole team and bring it to the docs. So so obviously this is not for everyone. Are there certain people who would not be a good fit for this experience?
It really depends on the person and their situation. I think once we talk to each person who's interested to kind of see where they're at and how they feel, if they're under any psychological care, if they're seeing someone, a therapist, then they probably want to talk it over with a therapist and say, hey, this is what I want to do. And just to make sure that it's the right thing for them. Because what we want to do is heal. We don't want to hurt and do anything worse than that. So we just want to know and really chat with everyone individually and see what it is their needs are, what their concerns are. And then together we can come to a decision. Is this the right thing to do? And is this the right time, for you to do it?
Exactly. So, okay. So this is awesome. So you've heard so much about the retreat now. And here, what I'm going to do is in the comments below, I'm going to put my my link to sign up for a connect call with me. If this is something that you want to do, the dates for when I will be there will be July 8th through the 15th. My plane ticket is booked. My girls are coming with me. They're going to be helping. They're going to be working to serve all of you. So I'm super excited about that. So those are the dates, July 8th through the 15th in Naples, Florida. It's at the Green Links Golf Resort, right? And the accommodations are amazing. The food, we have a private chef just for us cooking every single meal. And maybe we'll be doing some chopping of the vegetables too. And so, and all the food is pure, it's organic, it's vegetarian, it's very healing food. And there's a gym, there's a pool. We even make trips to the beach because it will be hot, but don't worry, there's air conditioning. And there's also opportunities to express yourself through art, yoga, tai chi, or qigong, and we offer so many, and of course meditation is always a part of it as well. So
we're considering all components of what's necessary to support you and guide you through that healing process. So that's movement, your food, activities. A lot of thought goes into creating that space for you where you're comfortable and supported to do the work that you're going to be doing. Because ultimately you're doing it. This is something that only you can, take yourself through. And we're just there to give you the tools, provide an environment that's supportive, and also to take care of you during that time.
Yeah. And I swear, I don't think I've ever felt so taken care of, so personally taken care of in my life. I really haven't. Ever.
Me too. That was my experience as well.
Ever and nowhere. So it's time, ladies. So if this is something that sounds like right up your alley, I know many of you have done, there's a lot of, hang on one second. Elise, hang on. Okay. So if this is something of interest to you, many of you are coaches, many of you have already done a lot of personal development work. Maybe some of you haven't been in the Paths to Meditation Mastery with me, but you've already have a deep introspection and you're ready for this. So private message me, you can email me. I'll also put a link in the comments for a connect call with me so you can sign up. Let's chat, because this is something that we don't, you don't just kind of like sign up, click add to cart and make it happen. We create this for you. And so we just have to make sure that it's something that's truly going to be supportive for your individual situation. And so, and that it will be a good fit. So definitely call me, text me, Facebook message me, email me, whatever it is, and we will go from there. And I just cannot wait to do this. This is going to be so exciting. And it's time. It's time to stop spinning our wheels. It's time to face what's been going on and stop the madness and create the healing and have the surgery and then heal up and move forward. So, anything
Disha,
else, Helen, you want to say?
I wanted to thank you. I really feel, I was with you during your first one, your second one, and I really feel you did the work, and you really got to reap the benefits from that work. And that's why you're also so inspired to do this further. And I'm grateful that you are moving forward and sharing this with others and sharing this with the physicians in your group, and setting the tone for healing. And that's really important. So I'm so grateful for you. You inspire me very much, and I can't wait to co-host this event with you.
Super excited. Can't wait to be down there. All right.
Thank you. See you soon.